wait, the last time the president was here was back in 2016 when he was actually running for the presidency.
And back then, police in riot gear, they dealt with thousands of people out on the street. Wendy Patrick is here now to speak on the legality of protesting. Wendy, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
When you speak of the legality of protesting, obviously First Amendment, everybody has the right to free speech and to assemble. Explain what you mean by that.
Well, when you talk about legality, what we don't want to see is unlawful incitement to violence. We want to see peaceful protesting. We don't want to see riots. And you're right to point out, gosh, it seems like it was just yesterday. It was May 2016 when the president was last here. 36 people were arrested. Police were in full riot gear trying to calm the scene. But what's different here? That was a campaign rally, very different. This is an examination of 8 of, what looked like those monoliths from Space Odyssey 2001. I'm probably dating myself, but he is here for that examination. He's meeting with military, he's meeting on a military base and then on his way to LA. It's a very different circumstance, and hopefully tensions will be far calmer than we saw when he was full on the campaign trail in May 2016. So we're hopeful that if there are any protests, as there have been over the last couple of days, they will remain peaceful.
This was unbelievable, the video that just less than 2 years ago.
I'm looking at these protests, and there was a lot of passion, lot of passion there. And I wonder if that will carry over to today.
Well, yesterday we saw a significant amount of protests here in San Diego County. We're expected to see more today, but what we didn't see is the absolute out of control types of rioters that we saw in May 2016. So hopefully the protesters yesterday were doing exactly that, peacefully protesting and setting the bar high for hopefully the same kind of activity peaceful today.
And I mean, you saw, you mentioned emotion. I was going to use the word anger. There was just a lot of anger back then, and I don't think any of that anger has gone away. Let's talk about the legal concerns about the border wall. A favorable ruling from Judge Curiel. Were you expecting that to happen?
Absolutely. Judges have to be above the fray, and they call them as they see them. They're not moved by passion or prejudice or by things that the litigant might say about them, as famously was done with Judge Curiel. We won't even repeat things that the president said, but absolutely. So the judge ruled that the border wall can proceed, that the White House has the authority to waive some of the red tape. So I'm sort of making it simplistic, waive some of the regulations and things that otherwise might have held up this project. Now, one of the other problems is going to be funding. That's not something that the judge can help with. That's going to be left in the Congress. But so yes, absolutely, that he ruled that this can proceed. It was a big legal victory for the president. But again, what does the administration turn around and do? Sue California based on some of the laws that were passed immigration-wise. So the president might have done better to wait till after his visit today for Jeff Sessions to travel to Sacramento to bring that lawsuit, but he's a bit unconventional, and that's what we saw here.
You jumped ahead to the president filing the lawsuit against California, so we'll go ahead to that, and then we can get back to the issue of the border wall. He's coming to California now.
That's right.
How do you think that's going to play in his visit here? I mean, he's suing the state of California, and now he's coming here.
Well, I think those that have opposed his visit are more focused on the fact that he wants to build the wall, because that is actually the point of his visit. So I know we're going to hear more about the lawsuit that was filed last week, but the protesters that were out last night, already this morning, you interviewed people that have apparently been up for hours already. They're more focused on building bridges, not walls, as they famously say, as our governor famously said. So that's probably going to be their focus, rather than the intricacies of the lawsuit that we're all just learning more about.
What's your take on a lot of our elected officials here in San Diego who oppose the president? They've come out with the same bombastic type of language with the president that they're criticizing the president for. Yesterday, saying you're not welcome here in California. Is that the message? Are they fighting fire with fire in essence? Because I didn't think, if you don't like the way the president handles things, why would you address it with the same type of language?
Well, it's interesting that you point that out, Raul, because one of the things I noticed is many of the politicians and the supporters and the protesters were using the same kind of language, only to the extent that they were very passionate about their position. There were no fighting words. There were no threats to incite violence. There did not seem to be any call to incite violence. It seemed to be battling speech with speech, and I thought that was a very good thing. Obviously, everybody's entitled to their difference of opinion, and I hope that some of those loud voices were just that they were setting the tone, both literally and figuratively, to just keep it very civil and express views, and certainly don't go where we went in May 2016, that footage was amazing. We've all forgotten how divisive that became and how hostile that became. But look, the president's going to be met with cheers and jeers this morning, and hopefully you'll stay at that.
And that's the way it should be. If you disagree, you disagree. Just keep
First
it
Amendment.
peaceful, and let's not see anything ugly out there today. We appreciate it. Wendy Patrick, thank you again.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
And you can stay with Fox Time all day.